Thanks a lot. So most people have probably heard about the Medal of Honor. It's our nation's highest award for valor, and as Kami mentioned, since President Lincoln put the award into existence in the Civil War, 1861, there's been 40 million people who have worn the uniform of our nation. Clay's one of them, I'm one of them, Sonny, wherever you are, you're one of them, thank you. And 3,519 people have received this medal. So it's percentage-wise, it's a really, really elite medal. There are 60 living Medal of Honor recipients today, and of those 60, about 18 are global war on terror age, and the balance, the other, whatever that is, 40 or so, are Vietnam era Medal of Honor recipients. We lost the last World War II gentleman, Woody Williams, 2 summers ago, and just a month or so ago, we lost the last gentleman from the Korean War. So that, for us as a staff at the Medal of Honor Museum, that's our guidepost. We've lost 4 of them this calendar year alone, so we're on a mission to get this thing built so as many of those 60 people can walk into the doors of the museum. Now, the project in and of itself is not new, because one of the first things people often ask is, you mean there's not already a museum or a memorial or anything for Medal of Honor recipients in our nation? There exist smaller regional hometown ones, but not one on a national scale. And so the very next comment would be, well, why the heck isn't that in Washington, D.C.? What are you doing in Arlington, Texas? Well, a few years, I've been with the project for 3 years now, and about 2 years before that, the organization thought they were going to build a museum in Charleston, South Carolina. That's the headquarters of the Medal of Honor Society, which is kind of like the fraternal organization of Medal of Honor recipients. And as they got into the process, realizing that we're going to have to raise a lot of money to do this, is Charleston the right spot? Well, a national competition amongst cities went out. I think 20 cities bid on the RFP. It got down between Denver and actually Arlington. Interesting story, Dallas proper was the first place that the committee visited, and the visit didn't go well. And as the selection team was leaving, a friend of the then mayor, Jeff Williams, in Arlington called the guy who was about to go to DFW and said, hey, can you wait till tomorrow and come over and visit Arlington? And so they did, and that's the story ends with Arlington being selected. Amazing choice, I think, because it really represents the great things about our country. In the middle of the country, right by a big airport, you got the football stadium, 2 baseball stadiums there. The city of Arlington is an amazing partner who wants this thing to succeed, but it's also in the middle of the Metroplex. I lived in Houston for 18 years, so I had no idea what Road 360 meant to the Metroplex, but it really is quite meaningful to be literally right on that road in between drawing the Fort Worth and the Dallas crowds together. I think it's pretty special. So the other thing about inspiring America, as Cameron mentioned, that's our mission, is to inspire Americans through the stories of courage and sacrifice of Medal of Honor recipients. It's difficult to inspire America with a physical building that's only in one spot. So our answer to that was, let's create a leadership institute as well that can be part of this, and through programs that the institute can provide to youth and adults alike, that can be our mechanism to reach the population of our country. So we're working really hard on that. The building itself has been under construction for 2 years, and I've got a video, if we can get the video going. The building's been under construction for 2 years. We open and here it is, this was just a couple weeks ago. We open on March 25th of next year, which is Medal of Honor Day. Every year Medal of Honor Day is March 25th. That by no small coincidence, we're opening on that day. The exterior of the building is this really, really cool design. That square that you see looking down on, that square right there is the museum exhibit deck. It's about 40,000 square feet. The cool thing is that whole structure is supported by 5 gigantic columns. And those columns, the top of each column is about 2.5 square feet, So the entire 40,000 square foot building is suspended by 12 square feet of space. And every service to the building has to go up through those columns. I could go on and on about how cool the engineering is. If you want to come over for a tour, I'm happy to give you that opportunity because it's pretty neat to see. So the exhibit space is that upstairs spot. There's these really cool spiral staircases that Clay Trantham Steel Company was too chicken to bid on. So we had to go seek those services outside of Fort Worth. But anyways, the whole square footage of the complex is about 100,000 square feet. And what's in the balance, so 40,000 exhibit space, what's that other 60,000? It's, of course, back of house and curatorial spaces. We've got a 230-person theater. And then we were looking kind of right down a glass wall. That is our Great Hall. We had that originally designed as a location for more exhibits, but as we canvassed the country and kind of got lessons learned from other attractions and venues, they all said, stomping their feet, ticket sales alone don't keep the lights on, so you gotta have multiple use, flexible space, design that in from the get-go. So that kind of gold-looking room that you're looking at from the glass wall is effectively our Great Hall, our function space. We can sit about 400 people, so I think if we partner with Square AV next year, we can deliver a really wonderful business summit in that structure for you next year. Our project is really three aspects: the museum here that I'm talking about, the Leadership Institute, which we're rolling out programs already right now with a partnership with the NFL through a thing called Character Playbook, and then this coming school year, piloting in Arlington ISD, 8th grade programs, and I could go on and I talk for a whole hour about that. But you have to, education's a big bite to chew, so we're focusing very specifically on 8th graders right now, and eventually the curriculum will expand. It's all about character-based decision-making, courage, sacrifice, integrity, and applying those character values to situations that kids can transfer into their own lives. And then same thing with adult programs. And I should also mention we have one of our founding donors, the Sargent family. So David and Susie, thank you for your support of the museum. And lastly, I just wanted to throw it up there. We have we're asked a lot about what events can happen there. This is not a sales pitch, but I just want to let you know that it is an alternative if your location to have events and things. And we just put some literature together. It's too small to read, but I just wanted to show you that this is out there. We've got documents that highlight each location, how many people you can sit in there and hold for your type of function. And our team is booking and reserving dates already for next year. So we hope that this could be a wonderful addition to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in terms of the businesses coming together for a unique venue that's unlike any other one out there. So anyways, we're excited to open the doors March 25th of next year. And then, the last thing I forgot was the final aspect of our three prongs of our project: museum, institute, and a monument in DC. The answer to the question of why isn't it in DC, very, very expensive and time-consuming to build a museum in DC, and you're competing against free ones. So business-wise, it made sense to bring the museum elsewhere, and we're putting a monument on the mall in DC. If you close your eyes and picture the mall, you probably picture the green grassy strip between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Memorial. That's actually called the Reserve. So in 2021, we passed legislation through the U.S. Congress that authorized us to be in the mall, which is I didn't realize this till I took the job, a giant part of the city, even going across the river into Virginia. If you want to be on the Reserve with your memorial or your monument, it's a separate set of legislation which is protected very closely by Park Services. And we passed through the House right before Christmas last year, and hoping that we'll get in front of the Senate in the next month or two, and that will put us within, the verbiage in the bill says within 1,000 feet of the Lincoln Memorial, which we think is very fitting since President Lincoln was the president that put the medal into existence. So that will be kind of, once we close out construction here, we don't want to fight a war on two fronts, so we'll wrap up efforts here in Texas and then shift focus with our resources, time, and construction energy to Washington, D.C. So thank you very much. What a wonderful event. Appreciate you guys.